Sorry, guys. I thought about it for a second. I changed into my pajamas. I want to talk to you a little bit more about how I recovered. I got fixated again on more of the things that happened. But how did I save myself? One, reaching out and finding support groups was immensely important to my recovery and anybody's recovery. You don't have to go in person. They do have online chat rooms where you can just, listen and read, or a lot of churches offer support groups. Google it in your area. If you don't have a support group, maybe you can get a hold of a counselor and maybe start one in your area, because if you need it, I promise you there's at least 10 to 15 other women in your area that need it too. A lot of women don't know what to do in these situations, and the people in their life don't know how to help them either. It's really, really hard for people to get any kind of balance within themselves and try to make sense of what happened. And then it's even more devastating when they don't have anyone to relate to, or nobody's really getting or understanding how much it hurts when certain things occur. Like, I can't tell you how many physical flinches I get when people say, when you have kids, you'll understand, or you're not a mother, you don't understand. I am a mother. I carried babies 2 times full term, just like you, and unfortunately, I didn't get to take my baby home. My baby went into the ground. That does not make me any less of a mother than anybody else. And that physically standing up to women gave me empowerment. When I sat and took those comments and didn't say anything, I would berate myself all night, into the next day, into the next week. Why didn't I say anything? That's so wrong of them to say. Maybe they don't know my situation. But don't ever fucking say that to people. You don't know the miles that they have walked. And that simple sentence could cause someone to commit suicide. It is a literal push. That is a trigger for all women who have lost babies. For someone to degrade them and take their status as a mother away. This is the biggest problem that I faced, not once but twice. And I didn't get this anytime from men. Women can't, if they're mothers themselves, I think they do try to emphasize, because they imagine what it would be like if they didn't get to bring their baby home, but they don't understand at the same time because they brought their baby home, and I think they mean well. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, if you're sad I have a baby, you can come hold my baby. That does not help. That is the worst thing you could offer. I couldn't even look at a baby without crying for at least 6 months. Putting another baby into our arms is not a cure for loneliness. It is not a cure for what we're missing. It just makes us want it more. That is why most women, when they have a stillbirth, they rush to get pregnant again. They need to fill up the hole they are feeling. And you can't fill that up with another baby. You can't fill that up with a puppy, which I tried. God love her. But that got ripped from me too. By the very father of, life's a bitch. You can't attach your grief to things, because when you lose them, you become twice as devastated as you were. Things are not going to save you. Doing the work is going to save you. Going to therapy, I didn't want to fucking go. I wanted to punch my counselor more than I wanted to shake their hand. I was angry at everybody. I was bitter and vicious, and I couldn't make myself happy, and nobody could make me happy. I was a miserable fuck for the year. From losing my son that first year, I fucking couldn't stand nothing. I couldn't stand to hear laughter. I couldn't stand to treat myself in any way, I felt like I murdered my son. And the same feeling I felt with my daughter. And with my daughter, I learned that's a part of postpartum depression. If you have a stillbirth, yes. No, stop. I don't care how sane you are, or how comfortable with what happened in there. You have postpartum depression because you are grieving on top of hormones. Nobody can go through a stillbirth and not have postpartum depression. It's very rare, and I highly doubt that even happened. They just faked it until they made it. Because ain't no woman coming out of a stillbirth room okay. I'm still not okay. I'm still fucked up, and I will admit that to your face. There is something about carrying a child, having it come out of you dead. It does something to your mind, it does something to your body, and you are okay to completely feel unattached to everybody on this planet. I have not related to a single soul until, before my son died. I found it hard to relate to people, but I was relating to people. Since I lost a child, I don't really relate to anyone because there is a big chunk of myself that I don't share. Unless I'm in a room with other women like me. I find it very difficult to talk to other women in general about this subject because I get a lot of judgment, mostly from the older generation. And surprisingly, it was from my ex's family. Like, are you sure you want to settle down with them? They can't give you kids. You know, that is a fucking horrible thing. That is a fucking horrible thing to say to anybody who has, what I'm getting at is people have no sense, no compassion, and you need to pipe up, because that saved my life. If I just continued to sit there and take those sly comments that people really half of the time don't even realize they're sly, like, fuck you. You know I was pregnant. Don't tell me I'll understand when I'm a mother. You'll understand what that fucking feels like if, God forbid, you have to ever bury your child. Because if we said that to you, that would be a horrible fucking thing. Like, yeah, bitch, call me when your fucking child dies. That's like as mean as what another female says that you'll understand when you're a mother. It's still a bitchy ass thing to say, and I got told that more often than not, again, by women. Do not look to women for support. I found it to be devastating and demoralizing. Only finding those support groups with other women like me did I find a common ground. It pays to talk to somebody who gets it, because there's so much fluff that you don't even have to fucking fill in or explain. You don't even have to say words to people like me. When they speak in a group, they don't have to give me any meat in the story, the meat potatoes of their story. I feel in my soul every day. It's a common understanding, and you need this to survive. You need camaraderie. You need to be understood, and you need to be heard, which only a counselor can hear you. Only other women like you, I really feel, gave me the best advice. If it wasn't for other women who lost with me just speaking about it, whether you read it in a magazine, whether you talk in a group, the fact that you are not alone is everything. When you stay feeling alone, when you don't speak out when someone is rude to you, when you don't acknowledge that you lost a child, because I went there. The whole 2 years I pretended I didn't even have a child. It fucked me up more. You have to face it. Don't brush it under the rug. The more you brush it under the rug, the more you lose of yourself. Fight. Fight through that counseling. Fight through all those people that want to kick you while you're down. How fucking dare they? You deserve peace. And peace is, hey, that's rude. I'm a mother. I'll always be a mother. My child isn't here, but they are here with me. Don't disrespect my child. I said that more times, and it feels good.